weekend?
No, because that'll be ratification days.
Right.
I have a bunch of meetings to do with thousands of members.
Tasting some turkey over there, Thanksgiving?
They have one truck.
Sure, we met as, we had the whole committee here, so we,
Just bonding experience, yeah.
yeah, it was actually in this room next door.
Oh, yeah. Are you staying in the hotel? Like, so long, like, this is your life.
Right, for a little bit, yeah.
I'm sure you're.
Oh, yeah, true. When you get in contractor.
That's all it's done now.
Okay.
We're doing the same thing.
Chris told me he didn't want this. That's cool.
PT live.
Yup. Bloomberg?
It was all sports stuff. Oh, yeah. Don't go down, go 53-quarter down, pull gear, and load it, set up, did the show, load it back up, she drove home.
Oh, we should bring these guys up. Aha. Yes, I'm serious. I'm not kidding.
Oh, are you serious?
Yes, the vice chair and the chair of the master bargaining committee with me. This is good.
Maybe we'll stagger you. You can go here, and then you can stand right there.
Okay, we got 5 minutes. How's it going?
Fantastic. How are you?
Yeah? How's our crew doing?
They're good.
Yes.
They're celebrating. They're very
Yeah, they are
Yes.
celebrating.
They should
We're
be
trying to hold them
celebrating.
back, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
All right,
That's
this
good.
way, Lana.
They should celebrate. Look at this crew.
I wonder who CP got. I don't think anybody. They must. Didn't have any.
Okay, we're good.
That's all right. I think they're not at Oshawa. Everybody's like same kind. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, I think I might celebrate too. What do we think? Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And then I'm sleeping.
Yeah, really. That's the best gift.
Put you guys behind the curtain.
Oh,
You got to do the walk-in shot.
okay. This seems so,
It's almost like Kathleen worked in television.
It's almost like that.
8,000 years.
Hey, hey, it's an age
Hey,
crack.
but we're still early here.
7,000.
I know, but we're gonna come in the door and walk in when it's time. Then they get,
Right, we hear you. She tells us what to do every day.
She used to do that to me too.
Hey, yeah, and for the record, none of you ever listened.
She's still good at it.
Well, let's not go that far.
Yeah, we still have 4. So they want 401 instead?
No.
Okay, good.
With her laptop? You can.
You guys gonna ask questions? Good, excellent.
If a train leaves Cleveland at 6 o'clock, doing 6 o'clock, another train leaves on the same track, where would they be?
Erie, Pennsylvania,
Erie, Pennsylvania.
doing 64 kilometers an hour. The trip is approximately 55 kilometers.
You put way too much thought into this.
Oh, I like these, I love them.
This is what he does in his spare time.
Yeah. God knows I have a lot of it. Like that scene the other day, Peter? They kept me there till 11 o'clock. I was doing live upstairs till 11 o'clock. Said, yeah, you know, the police they're gone, right? Yeah. Okay. You guys know best. Where's this one?
Good afternoon, everyone. And I'd like to introduce my colleagues here, the chair and vice chair of the GM Master Bargaining Committee at Unifor, Jason Gale and Trevor Longpre. And very happy to announce, Unifor is very happy to announce that we have reached a tentative agreement with General Motors following a 12-hour strike. And second to that, that we have met a pattern agreement that we established with Ford Motor Company a couple of weeks ago, which really is critical to building and having worker power, particularly across the auto sector. I want to start by saying how very proud I am of our members at Local 222, 199, and 636, who work at Oshawa Assembly, St. Catharines Powertrain facility, and of course in Woodstock at our parts distribution center. They absolutely understood the importance of reaching this pattern agreement for the membership, and they absolutely were willing to fight for it. I also want to thank the outstanding Master Bargaining Committee for their full support, encouragement, and leadership these past few days. Their resolve really empowered our union and our members to reach this agreement today. They too knew the importance of getting a pattern agreement that had been reached, as you know, with Ford Motor Company 2 weeks ago. When there was no deal at midnight last night, we had no choice as a union but to show General Motors how serious we were about meeting this tentative pattern agreement. And we knew that getting this pattern was going to be an uphill battle because of the economic significance of the Ford agreement. The greatest wage increases that we've ever bargained in the auto sector in Canada. The first improvements to pension plans in over 15 years. An ability to have supports for our members through the EV transition, and of course, investments as well. As you've known, following this story, General Motors had been resisting a number of elements in this pattern agreement that we had established with Ford, including pension improvements, supports for our retirees across the GM chain, and significantly, what was going to happen with temporary full-time employees who we felt deserved permanent employee status at General Motors. So we had to shut down two of their most critical and powerful parts of their chain in North America, in order to reach this deal, which was achieved earlier today. As you know, we continued to bargain throughout the night and the morning. It's why we look like we do up here. I think most of us got like 90 minutes sleep last night. But it was the determination of our members and our bargaining committee that really enabled us to get to this point. And I've said this before, but given the demographics, particularly at General Motors, this is an agreement that is going to change people's lives, particularly folks who were in precarious employment, people who were in a progression grid that normally would have taken 8 years to get to the top of, and now they will be there in 4 years. They'll be able to support their families and be the kind of contributors to their community that they would want to be. This is very important to us as a union. It's important to bargain collective agreements that lift everybody up, and that's what we did here. Our next steps, obviously, will be to bring this agreement, this tentative agreement, to our members, and we'll be doing that in the coming days so that they can vote on it. And we look forward to doing that. Any questions?
Why do you think it was so hard with General Motors where it seemed relatively, from the outside, simple with Ford?
Oh my God, there was nothing simple with Ford. Are you kidding me? We had to do a 24-hour extension to get a deal, and after threatening to shut down their engine facility, obviously, in Windsor, which was critical to their North American operations in that it builds engines for the Ford F-150, which is obviously one of Ford's biggest money makers. The same way that Jason's crew build the Silverados in Oshawa, which are very, very important to the GM chain. And sometimes you have to take these tactics. Sometimes we have to exercise our right to strike in order to get the kind of collective agreement that our members deserve. And that's what we did here. Particularly with General Motors, I would say to you that pattern is never an easy thing to achieve. It's why we fight for it every single time. No company likes to have the terms and conditions of their workplace dictated by an agreement that you've reached with somebody else. And in this case, the demographics at General Motors meant that we had a lot of young people in this progression grid, a lot of new hires who were going to do significantly well, 50% and 60% wage increases over the term of this 3-year agreement. So yeah, they were fighting, kicking and screaming, and we knew what was possible here. We knew our members deserved this, and we were willing to fight for it.
So base hourly wage increases for production and skilled trades, can you tell us what those are like?
Yeah, we have a whole list here. We have a whole list. Obviously, it'll depend on where you are in the grid, but the starting rate will go to just under $30 an hour, and by the end of the collective agreement with COLA roll-in, which is cost of living support, it'll be at $46 an hour plus for production workers, and much higher than that, obviously, for our skilled trades members. And skilled trades members, by the way, had an additional gain because there is a skilled trades adjustment. So for most of them, over the collective agreement, they would be receiving 25% wage increase.
Yes, given how these negotiations went, how do you expect for Stellantis to go?
I expect Stellantis will come here kicking and screaming the same way that General Motors did. The challenge with Stellantis is they have the largest footprint in Canada, and I can probably give you all of their talking points, and they'll start with that one. This agreement is going to be more costly to us because we employ more people in Canada. But our members at Stellantis deserve this pattern agreement too, and all of the improvements that we've been able to gain here. And so we'll be fighting for them every step of the way.
Now, were some of the stumbling blocks here? We talked to some union members today, and they thought that you have more retirees at GM, and you use temporary workers in a different way. So they said that they thought GM was going to be a lot more difficult to budge. Did you see that as being the case?
Yeah, absolutely, for those two reasons.
What made the difference in the end?
Well, we had a 12-hour strike, and these are two very important facilities in their North American operations. The Oshawa Assembly Plant is perhaps their biggest moneymaker in terms of the trucks that get produced there and built there proudly by our members. And of course, in Trevor's facility, Powertrain's engines that supply a number of plants in the United States. So while the footprint may be smaller than what you would experience in the United States, it was a mighty footprint that gave us power.
And now you're getting rid of the full-time temporary classification?
Yeah, over the 3-year agreement, all of the current full-time temporary workers will be transitioned into permanent status, which is huge.
Obviously, the vote with Ford was a little bit tight. 54% voted to ratify. Are you confident you have a deal that membership at GM is ready to approve?
I'm always confident when we have this kind of agreement on the table. Obviously, we think we've made significant gains for our members here, and the demographics at General Motors is completely different. Members will benefit in a different way.
And you notice, you mentioned demographics. Do you find that you're having trouble balancing what junior members want versus what senior members may want?
Absolutely. This is always the case when you have a diverse workforce, and that's why when we opened contract talks with the automakers, we were very clear with them. We have to make improvements all across the board, and given the time in which we're living, they would have to be significant in order to get any deal ratified right now.
Any concern that you're a little bit bottom-weighted with the junior members, given the way the votes have gone?
Nope. I think that the two folks I've got here with me are going to do a really good job helping explain this agreement to our members, and I feel good that they will have a better life as a result of this.
Dave Cassidy has said he wants even better terms than this. How are you going to manage these divisions as you try and close these?
You mean all of the expectations that are out there? I seem to be managing these every day right now. But obviously, I mean, the first challenge for us is not to take anything for granted here. We have to get a pattern agreement with Stellantis, and that's not a guarantee right now. So, yeah, we'll get to the table with them, and obviously some kicking and screaming will occur there too.
Have you been on a call with Dave Cassidy since he's sounded off a couple times?
I have not been. Nope, I've been busy here bargaining a collective agreement for 4,300 General Motors workers. Okay, that's good. Great, thank you very much, and hope you all get some sleep and rest tonight. I plan to do that. Thanks for coming. Oh, she wants us to walk over here now.
I was a little surprised it was quite so quick.